Researchers followed over 5,000 kids from birth to age 24. The children at age 9 who had the highest levels of insulin resistance were 5 times more likely to develop a psychotic disorder by the time they were 24.
Holy cow.
We're talking 500% increased risk.
Man.
This is not trivial. This is like slap in the face. This is a stronger connection than genes.
Psychiatrist and an assistant professor at Harvard McLean.
The world expert in the relationship between metabolic disorders and psychiatric disorders.
Author of the book Brain Energy.
Dr. Christopher M. Palmer.
You're gonna look at some kids who get diagnosed with ADHD, and if they're in a crappy, abusive household, yelling, screaming, shootings on the street, it's pretty clear why that kid is having some mental health condition.
Sure.
We've had a tripling in ADHD diagnoses since 2010. Those poverty-stricken, abusive households have not tripled.
What is the main thing that is driving depression, anxiety, ADHD, bipolar? What is the main root cause of those things?
At the end of the day, it is.
Hey, my friend Lewis Howes here, and we have a big episode with Dr. Chris Palmer. He's going to share some shocking statistics about the rise in mental health disorders from anxiety and depression to ADHD and bipolar disorder. And he's going to share some compelling cases for why integrating both physical and mental health treatment could be the key to helping you and millions of people recover with these challenges. I am so excited. If this is powerful for you, make sure to like this video, leave a comment on your biggest takeaway, and click the subscription button right below so you stay notified on all the top experts we have on this show moving forward. We are very excited for you to keep growing and evolving here at the School of Greatness as we continue to learn as well. So click the subscription button, stay notified, and without further ado, let's dive in. Welcome back, everyone, at the School of Greatness. Very excited about our guests. We have the inspiring Dr. Chris Palmer in the house. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Very excited about this because you have incredible credentials, Harvard psychiatrist, trained researcher, and you are helping people overcome one of the biggest challenges in the world right now, which is understanding mental health, anxiety, PTSD, all these different things that are related around mental health. And it seems like the rise of mental health symptoms have exponentially grown in the last decade. And it seems like people are more medicated than ever before, and it's making them sicker, not better. And as a Harvard-trained researcher and psychiatrist who also has prescribed people medication over the years, it seems to me like you found new ways to help heal mental health disorders. Is that correct? That is not related to medication.
That is correct. It's about integrating physical health and mental health. And when you put it together, more often than not, you can actually help people heal and recover.
What would you say then is the root cause of mental disease? And is that the correct way to say it? Is it a mental disease or mental disorder, mental health condition? What is the correct?
That is the million-dollar question. Because some people will say, I'm struggling with my mental health, I'm burned out. That is very different than I'm struggling with my mental health because I had a really horrible childhood. Which is different than I have a mental illness, which is different than I have a mental disorder, or my son has a severe chronic disabling mental disorder, which is different than I'm neurodivergent. I'm just neurodivergent. People need to accept me. I have a different brain. I'm autistic, or I have ADHD, or I have a learning disorder. We have these different labels, these different words, and they can mean vastly different things. And yet they're all interconnected. They can't be separated. And I think that's one of the more complex areas, because even the Surgeon General is saying things like, we have a mental health epidemic, and one of the root causes is loneliness.
Yes.
If we just address loneliness, we'll address this mental health epidemic.
But you can be in a community of your friends and family, but if you're eating all the wrong things, it's going to affect your brain and your mental health as well.
Exactly. there's more to mental health than just loneliness. So yes, I don't disagree with the Surgeon General that loneliness is one piece of the puzzle. I don't think that we have a loneliness epidemic that is driving autism, that is driving ADHD, that is driving bipolar disorder. I don't think the loneliness epidemic is driving all of those things. I think there's much more to the equation than that.
What is the main thing that is driving depression, anxiety, ADHD, bipolar? What is the main root cause of those things?
At the end of the day, it is metabolic dysfunction.
And what is metabolic dysfunction?
So, that even gets really complicated fast. The easiest way to explain it is that, most people think of metabolism in simple terms. And they think about it as either you got a fast metabolism or a slow metabolism, and that makes you lose weight or gain weight. Athletes might think about metabolism in a somewhat more sophisticated way. They might talk about VO2 max and some other things. If you've got a good metabolism, a healthy metabolism, a superior metabolism, you can run faster, you can lift more, you can do more. You have endurance. You can run for 30 miles instead of the person who can only make it 2 miles and then peters out. And the reality is metabolism is those things and is related to those things and does largely influence those things, but metabolism is so much more than just those things. The simplest definition is probably it's a process that all living organisms use to take food, oxygen, and some other critical ingredients like vitamins and nutrients and turn those into energy or building blocks for cells. And that is what fuels our bodies. It's how our bodies grow.
Yes.
It's how our cells repair themselves. But it's also how our cells end up making hormones. It's how they make neurotransmitters. It's how our muscles move. In a way, metabolism is biology.
Mm-hmm.
My work is easy.
Since it's like this overwhelmingly complicated thing.
So if your biology is bad or off, your mental health is probably going to be off as well.
Depending on where in the body it's occurring, yes. When your biology is off or when your metabolism is off, you are likely going to have signs or symptoms of a problem somewhere in your brain or body.
Really?
And that could be high blood pressure, high blood glucose in the form of prediabetes or diabetes. It could be obesity. It could be depression or anxiety or ADHD symptoms or seizures or Alzheimer's disease. It spans all of those. Again, not because metabolism is simple, but because metabolism is ridiculously complicated and all-encompassing when it comes to biology. So in that sense, some researchers will even push back on me and say, Chris, come on, that's not very helpful. If you're saying that all of this is related to biology, then that doesn't really help us much. But if once you see this big picture and you see these different puzzle pieces and how they all fit together, you can actually come up with shockingly revolutionary treatments sometimes for people with mild mental health conditions all the way to severe, crippling, disabling mental health conditions. And at the same time you're helping them improve their mental health, you can help them achieve a healthy weight and lower their blood pressure and live longer and live healthier.
But I mean, as a Harvard researcher, psychiatrist, you're supposed to be studying the brain or the mind, right? You're not supposed to be studying, or thoughts, you're not supposed to be studying the body, right?
That is exactly right. That's the way most people think of a psychiatrist.
Right. You're not supposed to be, don't think about the rest of the body, just the mind or the brain or the thoughts, right?
You're a shrink and you lay people on couches and you talk to them about their dreams and their past and their childhood and everything else. Or you're focused on these chemical imbalances, all these neurotransmitters, and you're prescribing pills. Lithium, Prozac, Zoloft, Xanax, Klonopin, Depakote, whatever. You're just prescribing pills to try to modulate the brain activity.
The body doesn't work modularly. It works as a unified system, right?
It sure does. It sure does.
So you can't treat one element of the body or the brain by itself without hopefully treating the holistic part of the human being, correct?
I think that is, what you just said is 100% correct. And what you just said, when you say it like that, it sounds so obvious.
But
most people are going to think, well, duh. But we in the mental health field, I just want to make clear how disruptive this is to the current paradigm. We in the mental health field prescribe pills that cause obesity.
That cause it.
Cause it. We give people pills and they gain 100 pounds in 1 year.
Really?
At the same time, they have dramatic increase in cardiovascular risk factors. They develop prediabetes or diabetes. And at least in the elderly, some of the medications we prescribe cause premature death.
Wow.
And this is not like conspiracy theory stuff. These warnings are all listed on the package inserts issued by the FDA.
That side effects may include
Yes. Weight
gain,
diabetes, cardiovascular risk.
So people know that these side effects are most likely going to happen and they take it anyways.
They take it anyways because that's what the doctors are telling them they need.
And they probably have lived in a lot of pain and suffering for so long that they want some relief also.
They're desperate.
Yeah.
They're desperate. And they are, in extreme cases, lives are ruined.
Families are ruined also.
Lives are ruined. So this broken, vulnerable family, whether it's your parents, your spouse, your children, take this vulnerable human being to a doctor and say, please, I'm begging you, help us.
Right.
And the doctor says, we're going to use these pills. And these pills are going to help your symptoms. They are antipsychotics. They are mood stabilizers. They are antidepressants. They are whatever. And again, not all of the pills have the same side effects. So I'm not here to berate psychiatric meds altogether. I think psychiatric meds can save people's lives. I think some people really benefit from them. So I can play both sides of that fence. But the most disruptive part about linking physical health with mental health, or linking metabolic health with mental health, is that so many of our standard treatments are doing exactly the opposite of what we want to do. Mm-hmm. And that needs to change. And it needs to change as soon as possible because lives are at stake and human beings are suffering.
Yes. I'm curious, based on how long have you been a psychiatrist for now?
29 years.
Almost 30 years.
Almost 30.
3 decades. You've probably seen a lot of changes over the last 3 decades. How many, in your opinion, how many people in America or in the world who you think are on mental health drugs, some type of mental health related drug, actually don't need to be on them if they take other intervention approaches through the things that you're talking about, the health and wellness, the right foods, the right sleep? How many people would you think don't need to be on those drugs if they intervene in a different way? Is it 10% that don't need them? Is it 90%? Is it only, what's the percentage?
It's a really important question. And the real answer is I'm kind of wildly guessing.
Yeah.
But I'll at least share with you the basis for my wild guess. At best, it's maybe 20%.
Don't need them.
20% who do need them.
20% who do.
80% who probably could get by if we as society take a different stance and use different strategies
Wow.
for human health care, integrating physical health and mental health.
Wow.
And the reason I say that is because the rates of many mental disorders are at all-time ever recorded highs.